Welcome everybody to another episode of Onchain Live. I hope everyone is well. We've got some really cool and amazing guests today. We've got Mike from MVP. We've got SASSY in the room as well. Sean from OKANE and Falcon as well from ANDWU. So we've got quite a mixed bag today, and we're going to talk about all different topics from Donald Trump to China to the dog tokens of the world to actual social media. So we're going to educate as many people within the space about all different types of topics today. The great thing is about these projects is they've been here, they've gone through hard times and everything, but I want to get their experience in about everything around the crypto space. So we're going to start with Mike from MVP. Mike, you're right?
Yeah, doing good, Benjamin. Glad to be here.
I appreciate it here as well. So MVP, guys, is a Donald Trump token, but I actually want to be a little bit more educated being English. We don't tend to hear about too much about the Donald Trump world, but Dulcie, for Donald Trump and crypto, it's been absolutely incredible. Since he's been elected, Bitcoin's hit the 100K mark. But can you tell our audience a bit more about why Donald Trump getting elected was so bullish for crypto?
I think that's a very big question right there. And, the answer really encompasses a lot of different areas. But, one of the big things, if you just look at, his pro-growth policies for crypto, I think that's one of the large reasons for it. For people that maybe don't know anything about Donald Trump and his affiliation with crypto, he's been around the space for a long time. He's launched NFTs. His family right now is launching a project, World Liberty Financial. And then, within the space, the way that the crypto space works, the people, they out here end up following certain people. So like Elon Musk being one of them, what he posts, the trends, tokens will launch immediately off of that. And Donald Trump's kind of become like that as well. So, I think the reason why, to your question specifically, Bitcoin maybe shot to 100K, I personally think falls under a few different areas. One, the talk of a strategic Bitcoin reserve. That is very big news. If a government as large as the United States decides to start purchasing Bitcoin in a reserve-like fashion, such as, a gold reserve, petroleum reserve, that's huge. That's tons of buy pressure. And then even since that announcement, I saw individually the state of Texas, somebody in their state government has introduced a bill to consider a strategic reserve there. I saw a report out of Russia. Somebody in the Duma, if I got that correct, said they may try to consider it there. So that buy pressure is enormous. You have large institutions now buying Bitcoin, such as BlackRock, Michael Saylor's organization as well. So when you have the big money already in there, and then you have pro-growth policies coming in, not to mention the SEC pick, and the other people who will be making the policies to, govern the crypto, businesses. I mean, it's just, if you're someone really paying attention, it's hard not to say as an investor that you are moving into a pro-growth period. And those are my thoughts of why Bitcoin has made the run. Other people may, extrapolate other reasons for it and all that. But those are the big ones that I see. And just today, I saw a report that one of the senators in the United States that's very pro on the Bitcoin reserve was meeting, I believe, with the new SEC nominee. And so, those things look to be moving forward. And, you never know in a capital market when to get in, when not to get in. So if anyone's listening, I wouldn't take any of this, for, financial advice to invest or not invest. But when an industry is moving into a looser regulatory environment that's going to be pro growth, the smart money obviously is putting that money where their mouth is, and look at all these years for all the people in our space that have been waiting for that, Bitcoin ATH after ATH. We're now at 100K. And for the Bitcoin maxis out there that talked about $1 million Bitcoin, since this thing's been like worth, $10, $100, $1,000, I mean, that $1 million Bitcoin seems closer today than ever.
I do agree with you. I think Bitcoin at the moment is it's done more than I ever thought it could be. Obviously, with Donald Trump coming in, it's been a big movement. But talking about movements and Bitcoin and Donald Trump, Falcon, you obviously come from a different side of the pond. Your token is based in China, and it's obviously have a Chinese twist to it. What is your thoughts with crypto and obviously with the Chinese regulations and anything to do with, because China and crypto don't go really hand in hand. So again, love to know a bit more about the Chinese side of things.
Of course, thank you, Benjamin, for having me here. First of all, it's a pleasure. Surrounded by such great big names in this space. It's a very good question what you've just said. Of course, having China, and unbanned crypto recently, it does show some big changes in the world's economics and the new world order, as they say it. Of course, we can see now the big shift in Asia towards cryptocurrency. This doesn't just fall towards China, of course. This falls towards many countries in the Asian spectrum of the world, like Saudi Arabia now implementing crypto, and China working hand in hand with institutions to legalize crypto and make purchasing crypto easier. Of course, such as we have exchanges working for us easily. You just deposit some fiat and you can just buy some crypto. In China, it's a bit different now. The country wasn't always very easy on buying crypto and selling crypto. It has been very oppressed. Now, this big influx of, let's just call it open mindedness towards crypto, does show us that people are starting to accept crypto more as a form of payment in not just coins, but day to day use cases. We have seen China now implement Bitcoin into their own financial systems, which, by the way, this is very big news. It's like saying the US is now adopting Bitcoin as a form of payment to anything you want. And we have seen this happening in certain parts of Asia. I want to highlight something. I am from the United Arab Emirates, Dubai. We can buy houses using crypto. Same thing is happening now in China. And this is something that correlates directly into the growth of crypto in the world's population. As we know it, 1% of the world's population does use crypto. So there's 99% left, and China does accumulate a lot of crypto, and they do contribute a large number of the population. So the way I see things from my side, aside from the West, of course, we're going to be seeing a lot of buying power. We're going to see a lot of liquidity being injected to the markets. We're going to be seeing new innovations happening, new exchanges perhaps. And this, in my opinion, is a very important thing to the growth of cryptocurrency as the world moves forward far away from paper money. But yet again, you gotta understand how this momentum can affect crypto negatively. But at the same time, everything happens in China is directly relative to the politics that they have. So I'm sure when I say this, they are winning equally just as much as the population is winning. But yet again, I want to highlight something MVP just said. Trump has played a vital role in cryptocurrency, and so did China, actually. It's very interesting when you hear this, but they want to open up Bitcoin and cryptocurrency, especially for purchase, not for their own benefit, but rather to implement more technological advancements in the world because they know a threat is coming towards the monetary system that they have right now.
Very well said. Again, being British, I don't know much about the Chinese world and how they are adopting cryptocurrency. So it's very interesting facts that you've just told me. So I appreciate that. Sassy, again, you guys have got a token in the Solana network, and again, bringing in countries, but also social media is going to cause a massive thing moving crypto forward and DeFi forward. And I know you guys are focused with your token around social media and getting knowledge and education out there. I know you've got a very large TikTok following for such a token that's just started. Tell me about social media and the roles it's going to help to get the mass into crypto.
Yeah, thanks, Benjamin, and pleasure being here. And I also really enjoying the conversation so far from Mike and Falcon. It's been yeah, really interesting to hear more from both sides of the fence. I think everyone knows in crypto really that content is king. For us, we really want to bridge that 99% that Falcon was mentioning in terms of the people that haven't adopted crypto yet, particularly in the meme coin sphere, into the system in a kind of safe way. And the best way to do that really is to go on these social media platforms that the majority of the world is on. Obviously, a lot of crypto has its little bubble on X, and that's a fantastic place, and it's great to connect with people on that. But it really is a bubble. You start to see that you see the same faces, you see the same projects, and it's really not that big, to be honest. And so for this mass worldwide adoption, I think a lot of it will come from people on social media talking about crypto and also educating themselves through those platforms, and it's really started to already happen. Obviously with Bitcoin hitting 100K, and some of the altcoins starting to rally, you can already see there's a lot of non-crypto influencers starting to talk about crypto, where they normally would be speaking about traditional finance, and even you're going so far to suggest Bitcoin as a form of diversification in your portfolio too. So for us, really, it's we want to make it fun and engaging, but really it's about tapping into an audience much broader than what we would be able to through X, really. So we've managed to get, I think, over 7.5 million views on our Instagram in the last 30 days. We've got 32,000 followers on Instagram and 21,000 followers on TikTok, and it's really just starting to snowball, which is really exciting. And then we'll start to really from next year really think about how we leverage that from an education standpoint, but also to make it fun and engaging, because really crypto should be fun at the end of the day. We're all here to enjoy crypto and Web3, and so that's really been our strategy to date, to really bridge that gap between I guess retail and crypto.
It's funny, right? Because when I'm before crypto in the Web2 world, I'm mainly Facebook and Instagram. I'd never really used Twitter before crypto. I never used Telegram. I never used Discord prior to all this. Obviously, when you join the world of crypto, you go into a new world of all different platforms. But again, you guys have gone the Instagram, the TikTok, that is more for people in the normal world and not the crypto world. And actually, I don't see many projects out there who do that. But actually, it's a huge platform that people are sort of missing out on. But you've gone really well and got incredible views within a couple of weeks. So brilliant.
Yeah, thank you. And it's only going to get bigger and bigger. Traditional media will obviously be people posting more people are going to be talking about it. There's going to be more news coming in relation to crypto, and that's really why we're so excited for Onchain, really, as a platform, because that will open us up to an audience that we really wouldn't be able to onboard, because at the moment, everyone knows onboarding to DeFi is not simple. It's extremely complicated. It's riddled with issues and traps, to be honest, where you can accidentally lose your money. You have to be really safe and confident in the way that you go about moving funds, and just to be able to purchase something on the Solana chain or another chain. So yeah, I'm really excited for Onchain, to be honest, and I think it's going to be a bit of a game changer in the space. So yeah, really looking forward to seeing how it develops. Yeah.
I appreciate that, Sassy. And Sean as well, I want to talk to you. You are literally between this all, because you are meme but bringing out utility. You're on Solana like the other projects. Your dog means money, OKANE in Japanese. We've got Chinese, American. So I wanted to bring you up to the mic and talk to the audience about the dog world, because again, when people join into crypto, especially in DeFi, on exchanges as well, there's a dog phase for many years, and it's still not going away. And I would like to know, again, for newbies as well, where did it all start, and where are all these dogs coming from? That'd be really cool.
Absolutely. Thank you, Benjamin, for having us. The whole dog meta is originally where it all began as far as the DeFi space. When you saw Doge and Shiba Inu, everything started going really parabolic back in the COVID-19 stage, and people started taking it a lot more serious as far as the meme token and the meme token atmosphere. You wouldn't see tokens going 1,000, 10,000, 100,000x from the originals. I remember back in the day when Doge used to have an extraordinary amount of zeros, and you were able to buy them on different platforms. And then Shiba came out of nowhere and started doing an insane amount of X's as well. But these are the original metas as far as meme tokens, and the dogs in this space are something that is it's OG. It's the original memes of the space, and this is what really etched out and carved a space for memes inside of DeFi as a whole. So this really did set a precedence for any memes that wanted to compete in the space, and it gave a lot of money and money flow that came into the market for the DeFi in general. Just came into the meme space because of the dog tokens. What we thought as a strategy was something that's universal, because we didn't want to go with another Inu. There is tens of thousands, if not hundreds of thousands of Inus out there. And as much as I didn't want to do a dog token, dog tokens are tried and true. You know, I mean, they ran their gambit, and they're existing, and they're still here. And not only that, but they're doing very well. So dog tokens really does set a precedence inside the space as far as bringing in that volume, that cash flow, and actually having the consistency inside the market of doing well outside of some of the other ones that you may see. I know there's been many hippos and other animals, and right now there's a pet meta going around. But as far as memes, the dog tokens last a very long time. They've lasted, and they stood up against the test of time for sure. The other metas that do circulate through the space have phased in and phased out. Trump has definitely stayed around for a long time, and so has Elon. But these guys are at the forefront of the crypto space. They're really setting a precedence for the entire market and really giving people an understanding that crypto has a mass adoption utility to it. And you can see that in the blockchain, and then the blockchain technology as a whole. DeFi isn't going anywhere. This is the next big step to what we plan on doing, and all the visionaries that are inside of DeFi right now recognize this. I mean, I'm sure all of us have been in here for many years, and we understood that this is a chance. This is an opportunity of a lifetime here to be able to really make a name for yourself and be at the forefront of a mass movement and being a part of that 1%, because everybody in this panel has mentioned that 1%. We are a part of that 1%, but we're at the forefront of that 1% because we're working on pushing the narrative and the directive and the derivative of what we're trying to do here inside this space, and actually becoming something that will assist and help DeFi transition to the next phase. I mean, everybody's in CeFi, and everybody that is in CeFi is starting to take crypto and DeFi a lot more seriously now, especially with the ETFs that came out, the mass adoptions that have came out, and then we have all the utilities and the expandabilities upon DeFi and everything that can be done with crypto. So getting these utilities brought in and having a memeable and utility-driven project that can bring some kind of utilization to the market that will actually set you into the forefront and have you be a trendsetter, to say the least, is something that you need to think about when you're trying to build some kind of project that is going to stand the test of time. I know a lot of RWA companies are trying to do this. There's a couple of here in the United States that are actually doing RWAs and doing tokenizations with real estate companies. And there's a couple title companies that close deals with crypto over here in the States. It's far and few between, but they are there. And you have mass adoptions with the centralized banking system where they're working on getting ledgers built into their banking system. This is something that's crazy. It's unheard of. This is something that is unfathomable to even the people that are inside of crypto now. If you were to ask us 2 or 3 years ago if you thought this was going to happen, I don't think any of us could have imagined how fast it would have happened. And it is happening a lot quicker than I anticipated.
Yeah, I agree with everything you said. It's amazing. I'm looking around the room and we've got United States token with Donald Trump. We have Chinese token. We have Sally, who's very heavy on social media, and then we have the dog meme that everyone knows that everything in the meme world is about dogs. But yet we're all talking about the same thing, the 1%. And how do we've literally got all different spectrums of crypto in this room, but how do we turn that 1% to 2 to 3? What's the main bottleneck for crypto? What can we improve on to get it out there more to mainstream the world, Web 2, even e-commerce, everything to plan out? Mike, I'm gonna bring it back to you if you don't mind.
Yeah, and I think that's the big question that everybody tries to answer. And what's cool about DeFi is we all try to answer it within our own projects. How do we get outreach to the existing Telegram, X, Discord communities? But then you have other projects that are thinking, how can we bring in the money from the normies? And doing the social media outreach like you were speaking with the other project on, the answer to that question, I think, lies in a lot of ways, but I feel as if we're moving in that direction. One way, which, is not just a plug for Onchain, but the ease of access is critical, because if people can't easily come in to purchase a token, I mean, you could tell them everything you want, like, hey, this is going to be great for you, whatever it is, you're pitching your friend, your next door neighbor. But when you get to the point of explaining how to buy tokens, most people, they're completely lost. They have no idea how to do it. You've lost them in that process. So ease of access is one way, and I think Onchain is working towards that. So it is a relevant plug for the service you're doing there. But then on the other side, I really think these larger macro moves in the market, like we talked about with Trump, right after the election, and this is just an anecdotal but true story from my own life. My father, who has never invested in crypto, he's known that I've done it forever, but has never moved into this space at all. Literally, I talked to him after the election, and he told me he was reviewing ETF options through his providers, and I was kind of just blown away. And we had a conversation as of why, and he felt that it was the time now, that with everything going on. So I really share that story just to point out that traditional investors out there are taking notice. So on the large cap tokens like the ETFs, I believe that adoption is coming. On the DeFi side, projects like the people on this panel, I think that outreach with an easier onboarding option will be huge in bringing people in. And then from there, it's I always like to say, I believe that DeFi specifically is the single most innovative field in the world right now. Like the marketing approaches that come out of DeFi are things that are absolutely genius. Some of them might never even take a project to 1 million or 1 billion market cap, but they are so innovative in the ways of trying to reach people that as we continue to be creative in our field, as we have ease of access with onboarding, and even more importantly, legitimacy at the highest levels through, government, supportive government policies, or as the gentleman said before about China, easing restrictions on crypto. I think naturally it just happens more and more and more. And, to fully answer your question, whoever can actually crack that egg of how to bring in the most people into the space, will be an absolute legend of our field out here. So I don't know. Those are my thoughts on it there. I think we're moving in the right direction, and just time will take us to the point where more and more people utilize it. And additionally, too, as more people are able to use the crypto to purchase real world, items, if it's at a, grocery store or if it's real estate, that's going to be very big too, to have that use case that people see the crypto as more than just, these wild dog tokens out here when they're like, oh, wait, I saw at my convenience store that I now can use USDC to purchase, whatever I want there. How do I get that? That's going to be pretty big too. And I believe I read an article that Coinbase was possibly looking to roll out POS systems that have the USDC option in them. You can do more research on that. I briefly read it, but that would be huge. If there's POS systems that accept the stable coins, that's going to really help with adoption as we move forward.
Also, Falcon, I want to ask you this question. When I think of crypto, I think of a few things, but definitely the future. And when I think of the future as well, I think of the AEU, right? So I think of Dubai, I think of Abu Dhabi, especially with everything that is building. When you go to that country, you mentioned earlier that I can buy an apartment and stuff. So can you go into the supermarket and use crypto over there? How does it sort of work at the moment?
Of course, that's a brilliant question, Benjamin. Um, First of all, we have seen crypto being adopted over there fairly early on, even before the technology was available. We didn't have, as they call it, crypto adaptability over there. It's fairly new, but the way that it was implemented into the society and how it was accepted was very fascinating because what they did was they told you Dubai is a very tax-free city. It's a technologically advanced place and it's in a free zone. They define free zone as place where you don't pay taxes on your holdings, on your assets, on your money, on what you earn and what you don't earn. So they said, come over, bring your crypto with you, and you can pay directly through the real estate office using crypto, pretty much the same way that you are paying a friend. It's an on-chain transfer directly done at an office, and you just send a TXN over there, they verify it, you verify it, and that's it. It takes less than a minute. You just pretty much optimize the process of paying, verifying, notarizing, and authenticating a payment. Because obviously, on chain cannot be, faked. No matter what you do, you cannot fake it. So they have pretty much cut the process in half. Now you just go over there, any real estate office, any of them. You just pick a house that you like. You say, hey, listen, I want to do this. I want to pay with crypto. They're going to send you the address. And it sounds funny because it's that easy, but it is that easy. And it's fascinating to me. Of course, um, Dubai is a very advanced place for everything. And the way that they tell you just, no taxes, it buzzes in the ear when you say that. But this is something that I think is gonna grow on other societies. And one of the societies that's currently adopting this is Saudi Arabia. That's a name we don't hear very often, but trust me, I'm originally from there. So when I say this, I'm telling you this from a local's standpoint. And it's interesting because first we have Dubai and the UAE as general, and now we have Saudi Arabia, and I think this is bigger than people see it. It's fascinating. It's amazing. But of course, now we have, uh, you know, crypto credit cards that you can just use in an ATM, buy some groceries, order online, do some shopping. It's pretty much just a credit card, but it's crypto.
And Sassy, where are you from? Are you from the United States or?
No, I'm from Australia. Yeah,
Ah,
small. Yeah, so part of
go for it.
Southeast Asia,
Talk
but
to me
yeah.
about Australia and taxes and crypto, how it's adopted. How big is it out there?
Yeah, it's a really good question. I just wanted to also look back on the other conversation quickly around how we increase adoption. I completely agree with what everyone else said around accessibility. But the second thing for me that I just wanted to touch on was we need to increase trust in the system. The crypto, with a lot of people, the first thing they think of is scam or black market, or you're doing something nefarious, and there's good reasons for that, right? So I think there's a really long way to go in terms of rebuilding and reestablishing that trust, but there's definitely a lot of things that will a lot of factors that will contribute to increasing that trust. And so for Australia, we do have a decent amount of people from a per capita basis that have adopted crypto, but from a government and regulation standpoint, it's extremely conservative. And to be honest, it's probably going to get worse before it gets better here. There's very few exchanges that we can use. Very hard to onboard, your fiat, and almost zero options for paying for anything with crypto in your day-to-day life. And I have a feeling that the government and regulations will probably get even stricter and tighter in the coming years before they're loosened, purely because if we do have this really big bull run from next year, there's gonna be a lot of stories about people getting scammed, losing money, dodgy companies that have been set up and don't have the proper licenses in place, or all of that stuff, which we're all familiar with. But I have a feeling that's probably where they'll head to. And unfortunately, as Falcon was saying with Dubai being tax free, I was like, oh, I wish Australia was like that. We have probably one of the highest rates of taxes, to be honest. Our personal income tax is huge. We got a goods and services tax. You're pretty much taxed on almost breathing. So yeah, it's a very, very different to what Falcon was mentioning.
Feel sorry for you. I say it's going to get worse before it gets better. When I'm in the UK, again, to try and get money into crypto is very hard, especially if you're on the BNB chain, because Binance just doesn't work. And I don't know what it's like in Australia. I don't know what it's like in America, but onboarding people when things don't work is, again, it shouts out scam. When I talk to my friends and family about cryptocurrency, it's like they just see this as a different world. And I say, oh, I've got tokens. They're like, but it's not real money. I'm like, but it is real money. And they're like, well, spend it. And I'm like, I can't. And they're like, so it's not real money, but it is the USD value of the tokens or the coins. And they're like, but you can't just go in a shop and spend it. So it doesn't work. But I don't know what your thoughts are, Sean, like what your family's like with what they think of cryptocurrency. And again, how do we change that mindset of crypto is here, it's not going away, and it's going to be the future?
Yeah, I think it's going to be the future for sure. The family, not so much. I've been fighting that battle for about 4 years now, trying to convince them. I'm like, listen, we can be the trendsetters. Let's invest. We can set ourselves up in the forefront. And, there's some really good altcoins that I really took notice of. Being one of the ledgers and just watching the blockchain daily and watching how much money they're moving into the treasuries for blockchain development and financial institution integration. It's on the blockchain. If you go to like Whale Watch and just watch some of the money getting moved around, you'll notice some transactions that are pretty insane that are going into a treasury for integration for global systems. And I've been positioning myself little by little into some of these systems and some of these native coins, these altcoins, and it's bittersweet in the aspect that I had to not basically cut off everybody, but just ignore everybody that had so much to say negatively in the aspect of DeFi and crypto as a whole. and just weren't understanding the potential that it has. And, you know, the potential that it has is far outweighs the bad potential. As long as you do your research and actually get in and understand the space and understand what you're doing, you could have positioned yourself at a $700 Ethereum, or a $15,000, $17,000 Bitcoin. This is something that they could have done. They could have positioned themselves with investments inside of those, and that's what, an 8x easily all day. They could have eight-folded their money instead of putting it into something else. And I know so many people, instead of doing something like that, when I told them until I was blue in the face, they ended up opening up businesses which failed because they were opening it during economic hardship. You know, the global economics aren't so great right now. There's a lot of inflation, a lot of interest rate hikes. There's a lot of squeezing in the markets, and if you just follow the money and follow how the money gets moved around, there's inflows and outflows in all kinds of markets, man. And stocks were some of the biggest ones that had the outflow in the past 6 or 7 months that I've noticed. You know, people liquidating billions of dollars in their actual stock portfolios and just moving it over. And we saw a massive movement of money in the real estate market over the past 2 years, where people move their money into real estate, into a hard asset. Having a hard asset that gives you equity backing because you have a physical hard asset, that's something that secures your funds. It secures your money. And that's why housing prices went up 60, 70, 80. Sometimes people are paying 100% over market value. And the reason why is because that's where the money moved. And I expect that there's going to be some kind of correction over there. But right now, people are starting to see crypto as being an asset. And crypto being an asset is good and bad, right? Because there's going to be regulations. There needs to be regulations. But at the same time, this gives us an opportunity to open us up to being a part of the fold. We are going to be a part of that fold of money inflow and that financial transition of wealth from one market to the next. So this opens us up to a large, large market of actual capital that's in this global economic system. Instead of just being real estate, stocks and bonds and trust funds and moving it around over and over and over in that rotational pool, crypto is going to be put into that pool. And when crypto's in that pool, we can follow the money, follow the way that these guys are actually moving their funds and their assets, and we can capitalize on it. This is something that we are, like I said before, in the forefront of. We're already here. We've already planted ourselves in. Now we need to capitalize on it.
I think you made a good point about regulations will come into place, and I completely agree with you. They have to come in for a number of reasons to stop all these scams and all these rug pulls of the world, and it drives us all crazy. Let's be honest, because it puts a bad name on crypto. And most of you guys here are on a certain blockchain called Solana, and it is a great blockchain. But obviously it has its flaws of it has so many projects launching per day at this moment in time. And so many are just vanishing within 5 to 10 minutes. Mike, obviously you guys went over to Solana. I know your main token is on Ethereum, but you opened the doors to Solana. What do you think the future of Solana? How do you reckon other blockchains as well as Solana can improve on actually stopping that side of the fence, that the evil that comes into crypto, the scammers?
Well, that's a very tough question, and I think you could look at it from multiple standpoints. For people that are fully into having us be decentralized out here, you would have to argue there's no way to stop people if they want to launch something on the blockchain or not. But under the guise of something with regulations, I think some governments have tried to bring in regulations to, block access to certain, certain protocols, certain things. So that would be, one way. I don't know if you can ever really stop it in the sense of really more. Hopefully our industry can find a way to self-govern itself to, ensure that there are safe places that people can go to and find out about tokens. And you know, there is, to a degree right now, you can go find those large cap tokens and all, but you know, all the better if some of the launch pads and some of the ways that, you know, tokens launch off of, you know, pump funds, specifically on Solana. There's now basically a pump fund derivative on every blockchain out there. You know, if those protocols can, you know, find a way to make it safer for people, I think it would be really good. I listened to an AMA a couple days ago with a project that was launching a pump fund derivative on Ethereum. And, you know, somebody had asked them about maybe even making a KYC tag on it, similar to like what Pink Sale would do on their pre-sales. And, you know, even that was kind of a little pushback on the way they looked at it. So, you know, I don't know if it can be fully stopped, but I can say for any new people coming into the space, you know, as a community, if we can direct them to safe places to get good information, that is going to be something that we need to do to ensure that when that new person comes in, maybe they have $10, $100, $1,000 or more, that they don't go give that away to a scammer. Like, we have to find a way to ensure that they see value in coming into here. You know, like we'll talk to our friends about is, you know, all the success we have. And then, you know, all of a sudden they're like, hey, I bought something on Pump Fund today and lost all my money, and the heck with you guys, I'm done. Like, that's not going to help us grow. So, you know, I don't have the full answer. You know, those are my thoughts on it there. I hope that it can be done more in the decentralized way, that we can help our own crypto community and ensure to lead people to the safe places. Because the alternative is, you know, some governments or, you know, people who make the, you know, all the legislation to, you know, kind of confine us in what we can do. If they're the ones left in charge of it, we're not going to end up in the space that we want to be. And so, you know, time will tell for how it all happens.
And also, Sassy, I want to ask you, because you do something that I see not many projects do, is you actually team up to a certain extent with other projects that you sort of vet. You go in there, you meet the people, you speak to them, you get to understand the project. And then now you guys have got like this big community of project leaders, and you all work together and you all support each other. And again, I normally see in the space when there's a token, it's just that token and screw everyone else. But for you, you've actually built that network of tokens around, and it's lovely to see. And why was that so important for SASSY to do that sort of business model?
Yeah, it's a really good question. For us, you know, collaboration has always been key. You know, it keeps it fun and engaging with your community. You cross-pollinate into another community as well. I really think, you know, the meta of PvP is changing, and it really goes back to, you know, what we were just discussing before in terms of, you know, how we increase mass adoption and you know, how we make this a safer place. And that's what it's about in terms of collaboration. You know, I think it's all on everyone's shoulders that are within crypto to actually lead that charge with the education, and also ensuring that anyone that is new to the space comes into it in a safe and trusted manner. And you know, I know obviously it'd be great if some of the bigger players in the space, you know, did a bit more work in that regard, but I don't think it's ever going to go away. Really, it's just not. Like, I think there's always going to be bad actors. There's always going to be people wanting to extract liquidity from the space. And so for us, it's about, well, if we can grow together by partnering and collaborating, and I know these project leads are good people at the end of the day, and they're doing the right thing by their communities and within crypto, then at some point it will be the only space for people to go. And that's kind of where we need to get to. We need to educate people that, you know, stop gambling on pump fund. You know, 2-minute tickers, and start to get involved with projects that have been building for a long time. And so that's really what it's been about for us. And of course, your network is your net wealth, and it's really been awesome to meet people and learn from them and collaborate, and it's had a really positive impact on our community and our project as a whole, to be honest. And so I would recommend everyone does that. Like, find the people that you believe are building for the right reasons and are here for the right reasons, and work with them and grow together, because we really want to be, say mid next year, when everything's really full steam ahead and the bull run's going a bit crazy. Hopefully all those newcomers find those trusted pathways.
Yeah, I totally agree with you. I think, again, lucky in my role is I get to connect with loads of projects, and it's great to learn about everyone's individual projects. But I 100% agree with you, where a community of projects is more powerful than lots of individuals trying to go on their own. I think if people can collab, do AMAs together, help each other, recommend things to each other, you're just going to organically grow anyway, because you're going to cross-pollinate the community. Some people have this idea that they're your community, and that community cannot spend any other money in crypto with any other community or any other token. And it's just madness. People have to diversify the portfolio. It's just normal. Of course, people can still love your project, but they just get projects are very anal with that sort of stuff. And I think they just got to let it go and just build and stuff. And Falcon, I want to ask you about ANDWU as well. Like, do you guys also meet with other projects, or do you guys go out there into spaces, and what do you guys do to promote? Because I've seen on your chart as well that even though you've been around for 6-ish months, something like that, you've now on your way up the charts at the moment, the last few weeks or months.
Of course, yeah. I want to highlight something. By the way, did you ask me the question or someone else?
Oh no, I was just asking about your chart at the moment. It's obviously going up.
Yeah.
You use community engagement with other projects to sort of get yourself out there. What do you guys do as a project to promote yourself?
Yes, so a strategic move would always be growing in the community. I don't believe in shilling. I don't believe in doing anything that could harm someone else. I believe that community growth should be organic and should be done through exposure. We are hosting weekly AMAs, and we are working hand in hand with our community members who are contributing a fair share to the marketing wallet. And we're doing our roles by using our connections, using friends, doing our best to just put our name out there. But I think that the biggest catalyst has been AMAs and Twitter Spaces. Uh, it has shown such a great effect on our charts and our community, because one thing I always focus on is the growth of the community before the growth of the chart. Because if you have a strong community, then the chart is not going anywhere besides up. But again, I'm not here to speak about the price. I'm here to speak about community growth and how you can connect with the people who are inside the chat, and how you can understand what they want from you. Because again, it is your responsibility as a leader to listen and to work. It is not just, you're a leader. No, you, Benjamin, you own a company. You understand how things are. You work at a company. As a leader, your job is to listen and implement, but in an innovative way. And growth, that's a key word people forget about. Growth is what we aim for always. Twitter spaces, Reddit posts, Twitter posts. And, here we have social media oligarchs in this stage here. They know about this, and they understand the true element, which is consistency. It's not motivation, it's not anything. It's just be consistent with what you do, and the growth is going to come to you. And I really hope that in the upcoming weeks and days and months, Chinese people are going to be just coming in I'm learning Mandarin at the moment to be able to connect with community members more, and I really hope it pays off for the better.
I understand you are a Chinese token, but what percentage of your community are actually Chinese?
Yeah, so as of this moment, the demographic is very westernized. It's not really
Yeah.
Chinese at the moment because, restrictions and whatnot in China. But we are doing something interesting. I don't know if any token is doing this, but we are opening up a chat on a Chinese Telegram, if we may call it. It's called WeChat. Um, we want to connect with the demographic of China. We want to connect with our roots, as they call it. It's a very funny idea, but I really am interested in touching base with the Chinese meta and the Chinese demographic. So as of this moment, you can say that 20% of our community is actually Chinese, and we do have some Asian countries in our community, and the rest is, who knows, honestly, American, European, Canadian, Mexican. No one really knows, but we are trying to grow that side of the community very much using social media apps from China. It's a demographic untapped yet. So we're working and doing our best in that aspect.
I'm actually live in Southeast Asia, and every time people ask me what I do for work, I say I work in the crypto industry. And the young generation, sort of 18 to 28, God, I say young, I'm 40. But it's a case of they just find it fascinating, the crypto space in Southeast Asia. Wherever I go, if it's Vietnam, Thailand, Cambodia, Laos, Singapore, or Philippines, it doesn't matter. They all are so fascinated by it. They all want to learn it, get into it, but again, it's the same issue of trying to get into the space with regulations, trying to get fiat money in and out and so forth. But yeah, I'm even surprised when you said 20% is Chinese. So that's a good amount, in my opinion, because again, it's the Chinese market. It's hard to get them at the moment in time.
Yeah, if I may add something, Benjamin, if you don't mind.
Of course.
Something that I've noticed, by the way, since you're in Southeast Asia, have you noticed how mainly also a large percentage of the population wants to get into crypto because of their falling currency? This is something very interesting to me.
Massive,
Yeah,
massive. That's the big
what
thing,
I've
honestly.
noticed is, yeah, countries with a floating currency, that's an economic standard for us. I work in taxes, so I'm very oriented in that matter. Um, Countries with a floating currency like China, it is in their own benefit to adopt crypto, and Philippines as well, and other in Asia mainly. I don't want to just highlight Southeast Asia, but it's crazy how the demographic is shifting to more of an economic standard rather than just for making money. And it's crazy because you're seeing now generations over generations just talking about crypto. You have grandmas talking about crypto. You have you just said it, 20s, in their 20s, in their 18s, just talking about crypto. And I really think this is so big, and you were there. So please just tell me more about how people are talking over there, because I don't know how it is over there. I don't have a connection there, but I would really love to hear about how they are touching grounds with crypto.
Yeah, you mentioned before going to that one, you did mention falling currencies. I remember when I first went traveling, I was an 18-year-old boy, just left college, and I went traveling for a year. And obviously, Thailand is obviously very appealing. So I went to Thailand, and I could get around 70 Thai baht to my English pound. Again, I've just come back from DevCon in Thailand, and I'm getting 40 something, 41 to my English pound. It's nearly halved in 20 years. Like now, if I bought apartments in Thailand, they would obviously gone up in value, but I would have got two for the price of one now. And so that's when I sort of really grasped the fallen currency, if it's either the GBP or the Thai baht, I don't know. But all around the world, it's pretty bad. And again, I went to Turkey not so long ago, and that's really taken a plummet. I can go to Turkey with my British pound now and get a lot for my pound. Back again, it wasn't as bad, but now, yeah, they like the dollars, they like the pounds, they don't like the Turkish lira. And again, they would be a really great country to start looking into things like stable coins and stuff like that, because I think that's a really important thing. But going back to your question about Southeast Asia, again, I'm surrounded by the younger generation here. It's they're lovely, lovely people. And God, do they want to be educated? The problem you have with the Southeast Asia is where the Western countries, they do have disposable income. A lot of people in Southeast Asia don't have disposable income. So they're very cautious about where they put their money. And so it's all, again, for me, when I talk to them, it's about education, trying to teach them the correct way, trying to stay them clear of certain tokens or coins and stuff like that. And again, do your own research. We always ask everyone to do their own research. I find that's very, very important. But Sean, like you're a meme coin going into utility. And this is a great topic. I was in Singapore a few weeks ago, and they were on stage and they were talking about, is meme coins bad for the space? And one guy gave a really good answer, and he went, no. I'll tell you why, because a lot of people start with meme coins just to get into the space, learn a project, learn how to build a project, get the growth of a community. And then if it doesn't do well, fine. But then what happens then is they grow. They start another project, and then that turns into a utility. And slowly but surely, the people within the space that start with the meme world end up going eventually into utilities and actually building something tangible and quality later down the line. But do you guys also are planning that, or you just want to stay the meme world, the fun world of memes? Or are you planning going down the utility route?
Actually,
We're definitely.
oh, sorry, I stepped over someone's toes here.
Oh, sorry, sure, that's for sure. Sorry.
Yeah, no worries. We're definitely planning on moving into the utility space. Memes are great. There's nothing wrong with memes, but there's only so much you can do. It's very surface value when it comes to memes, but offering something inside the space that actually gives some kind of utilization and some kind of advancement inside the space is something that is needed. When it comes to investors coming into the space and learning that massive learning curve that I'm sure all of us have gone through with losing a lot of exponential amount of money inside the space before actually learning our lessons. It's education, man. It's education. So knowing that there's going to be a safe place to actually go invest someplace that actually has already vetted and a place that people know that they can invest safely without having to worry is what will be the catalyst to actually push us in the right direction as far as the DeFi as a whole. You know, people are going to more traditionally move towards the ETFs and the stables like Bitcoin, Ethereum, Solana, even XRP, even though XRP, I feel XRP is oversaturated. That's just my personal opinion. But there is a lot of other tokens and altcoins that a lot of people are moving into because they feel it's safer. When it comes to the meme space, if you have utility that is going to be advancement and you can push being that pair with that alt and a primary token and actually etching your way, this is going to make us stand out in the forefront. I'm talking about all these projects that are on the panel today, just all the projects in general. We have to have something that is going to set us apart from just being a surface value superficial token, right? You can be a hippo, you can be a frog, you can be a dog, you can be whatever it may be, but what value do you bring? You need to bring value. And if you're just going to stay that superficial value, how much value is that going to provide? It doesn't provide anything for the end user. It doesn't provide anything for the investor. It's pure hype. It's pure superficial, and there's no value that really anyone is going to be interested in investing their money into outside of just saying, hey, this is a household name. I own some XYZ. So I think it's very, 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 very important to get into the utility space. And the way that we're strategizing is moving into the marketing industry, which is a $1.2 trillion global industry and growing every year by about 5 or 6%. So every year it grows about 1.2. Probably next year it's going to be about 1.3, 1.4, so on and so forth. It's scaling. Every company needs it. Every company has to utilize marketing in one way, shape, or form. So being a trendsetter and being in the forefront of actually breaking into these new industries. Some may go into real estate, some may go into consumerism, some may go into social media. Marketing is something that everybody needs as well. And being the first one in the DeFi space in Web3 to carve your way and to show that there is versatility and there is utilization and there is technology that is out there to actually get you integrated into the crypto space is quintessential to your project's growth and development. And there's nothing wrong with just having a meme with superficial value, but it's just a meme at the end of the day.
Again, totally agree with you. Cheers for that, Sean. Right, guys, it's the top of the hour, and I'm just going to leave it with one sentence, and I want one word from you guys. Future of crypto. Let's start with Mike. One word, future of crypto. I'm going to go for bullish.
Bullish.
Mike, you're going to go for bullish as well. I guarantee everyone's going to say bullish. That's fine.
Growth. I'll go with growth too.
Right, Falcon.
I would go with Dubai.
Dubai, I like it. Sassy.
I'm going to go with empowering.
Oh, I like. And Sean, finish up.
Innovation.
I love it. Guys, thank you all for watching. Guys, thank you for joining the show as well. Sassy, Falcon, Mike, and Sean. It's been a pleasure. And we'll see everyone on the next show. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Benjamin. Appreciate you hosting.
Thank you, Benjamin, so much for having us.
Been a pleasure, guys.
Thanks for watching Onchain Live. If you enjoy this, hit like and subscribe for more insights. Don't forget to turn on notifications so you never miss a video. Stay sharp, stay informed, and see you in the next one.